Yeah, we can see you.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to begin in lying down on the mat. So make yourself comfortable. And as I always say, I start with my knees bent so that I can get my torso settled first. Once you've found a comfortable position, begin to follow your breath. And with every exhale, just allow yourself to soften and sink a little bit more. Making any minor adjustments to improve comfort, perhaps making some movements to make sure that your shoulders and the back of your head are making a really good connection. And then lengthen out your legs if it works in your body. And open up your palms. Begin to take some more awareness of your breath. We're going to do some focusing on certain areas. So as you breathe in, I want you to imagine that your belly is rising. So inhale. And exhale through the nose or the mouth. Don't worry about rising up your wrists, your ribs, or your collarbones. Just imagine your belly rising. Last one, inhale into the belly. And exhale completely. So we're going to switch our focus now to the ribs, and I would like you to breathe into the rib cage and imagine your ribs expanding to either side. So let's try that on an inhale. Feel the ribs expand. Exhale. Draw them back. You want to check that out. You can actually cross your arms over your body and put your hands on your rib cage and breathe and feel the expansion. We'll do one more like that. So inhale, expand your ribs. Exhale. And just breathe into the whole torso 3 times, exhaling in through your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. And then return to just your normal breath. So let's step our feet in closer to the butt. Not like right up tight, just a little bit closer. Bend the knees. And bring your hands palms down now. And we're not going to do a bridge, but we're going to pelvic tilt. So we're going to inhale and then exhale, tilt the pelvis. Nice, gentle lower back movement, starting to move that sacrocranial fluid up the spinal column. Let's do 3 more tilts. And then we're going to gently draw the knees in. And again, we're not trying to really do anything but relax here. So if you want to start with your hands behind your thighs, just allow the shoulders, the knees, the feet to just soften. I'm not pulling, I'm just letting the thighs come down over the torso. And if it's challenging, if this is a place where you could use your strap so that you can totally relax in this position. We're going to stay here for about 5 breaths. So if you have a strap handy and you want to use it, it would be super to do. Keeping those shoulders and that jaw completely relaxed. And then gently drop the feet back down onto the mat. Feel that sacral area. You should feel very heavy on the mat at this point because we've relaxed all the little muscles. So we're going to roll over to one side and make your way up to seated. We're going to come into our first yin posture. So normally in yin we start with very cold tissues, and you notice I did a little warm up here for the lower back because I kind of feel like, you know, when you're a little bit more mature and you might be a little bit stiffer, it doesn't hurt to give yourself a little extra advantage. So you're going to need some props for this next pose. I'm going to be having my big bolster. You could use pillows. I'm going to be using my blocks. So you're going to bring the bottoms of your feet together and put your blocks underneath your knees. So I'm trying it out here. I've got my blocks at the middle height, and I think I might like to leave them there. If you have more opening, you could drop them down, but my knees don't quite want to get down there yet. So you could put the blocks up under your thighs a little too, but I like to support the knees. So I'm going to draw my feet in. So draw your feet in as much as is accessible for you, making sure that you are not kind of tilting too far backwards. And then grab your prop and bring it close to you. I'm going to use extra props here too, because it's morning. And we're going to come into a folded butterfly pose. So bring your arms out in front of you and bring your head down onto your prop. Now, I can't even get my head down onto my prop. That's how stiff I am this morning. So I'm going to start just by, well, maybe I can do it this way. Yeah. Put your head down on your prop if you can, and bring your arms out in front of you. And just feel the opening that's coming in the back body, the opening in the inner thighs, and some opening in the side body. So we're going to stay here for a bit just to start to wake up the low back, the inner thighs. And in Yin, you want to stay in a position that is comfortable and not stressful. So play around till you find where you can maintain the position, feel some stretch but not pain. And that could be even just a tiny bend. We're not in a forward fold competition here. And we're going to maintain this position and follow the breath. Continue to invite your body to soften. Some people have asked me about how long you should stay in a pose, like in a Yin pose, and my feeling is if you want to get out of the pose, you should stay in it. And when you feel like you want to stay in it forever, it's time to get out of it. Either that or have a timer. Usually we stay in these Yin poses for between 2 to 5 minutes. We'll just take 3 more breaths here in this pose. Nice full breaths. And then very slowly, on an inhale, come back up to seated. And we're going to keep our legs in the butterfly position. And then move your prop over to one side. Too far for me. And we're going to fold over, stretching out the side of the body that's away from the fold. So just come into a side fold here. You feel some stress in the rib cage, relax the shoulders. Deep breaths. It's kind of like a seated banana pose. Five more breaths. And very slowly and carefully on an inhale, start to walk yourself back up. Of course, we're going to have to do the other side, but if your legs need a little bit of a break from this butterfly pose, you can pause for a moment and bring your knees in. Just straighten the legs out for a moment. Give them a little shake, a little massage. And we'll finish up the butterfly by coming into the pose on the other side. So you might want to try putting the blocks in a different position. I think my legs have opened up a little bit. I'm going to drop my blocks down just a bit. And then get your prop or props and bring them to the side and fold over. And this side could feel very different.
This side seems much looser.
Much looser, mine's tighter. It depends on how, it's looser for you, Al?
Well, I'm on the left side, and it's much looser.
Okay,
the right side is
yeah. Well, it's that, and that's what another thing I love about you, and you really notice what parts of your body are carrying the most resistance. Nice, smooth, easy breaths. Five more breaths. And on an inhale, we're going to come back up. Remove your props. Walk your hands behind you. Bring your feet out in front of you. Lift up your heart space. And gently windshield wiper your knees from side to side. And come back to center, and having your mat completely prop free, I'm going to come down onto your back again and come into banana pose. So let's make our way down onto the back. And just take a moment here to notice what's going on in the back body and the inner thighs where we've done some good stress work. And then take your feet to either edge of your mat if you were on a mat. And you can bring your arms up overhead if it works in your body. And we're going to slide that right foot over beside the left. So the heels are touching and you've made a kind of an angle, banana angle in the bottom of your body. And you're going to walk your shoulders over to the left too. Keep the hips on the mat and feel that side stretch. Now, if your elbows are wonky or up in the air here, you could just bring your arms down and have the stretch be from the shoulders to the heels. It depends on what's going on. You don't want any limb left stuck hanging up in the air with no support. If your elbow is up in the air and you want your arm overhead, you could put your block or blanket underneath it so that you can feel supported. And then once you're in your Goldilocks position, just want to just repeat, relax, relax, relax. Nowhere to be, nothing to do, just to be.
Should you turn your head to the side that you're facing to?
No, the hips should be flat on the ground.
What about your head?
Your head can be in any place that it feels comfortable. I don't like to do too much neck work because everybody's neck is, yeah, I just have my head kind of gently turned to the side of my bend, but I don't turn my chin over there. I want to keep my eyes up towards the ceiling.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks. Thanks for the question. Thank you for asking. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Maybe practicing some of that 3-part breath where you work with your belly or your ribs or your whole torso. And then slowly and carefully lower your arms if they were up overhead. Slide that right foot over to the left side of the right side of the mat and come into center. Pause here, feeling the effects of the stress on the right side. And we're going to transition now to the other side. So you can start with your shoulders or your foot. So you can slide your left heel over towards your right heel, get your lower body twisted, and then you can walk your shoulders over, or you can do it in the reverse. Walk your shoulders over and then your lower body. So once you're in the banana shape, you can decide what to do with your arms, because your arms may feel different on this side. So slide them up to where you can keep your elbows on the mat and then bring them over to the right. Or keep them down by your sides, whichever feels better in your body. And then you can check for areas of resistance and invite them to relax. Five more breaths. Gently bring your torso back to center. Lower your arms if they were up. Bring the left heel back over to the left side of the mat. And just slowly bend your knees. Keep the feet wide. And draw the knees in. So your knees are kissing and your feet are far apart. And then take one hand and place it on your heart space and another on your belly. And we'll stay here for a bit in constructive rest pose. You can feel the energy that's pulsing through your hip area, keeping that pelvis nice and juicy, all the attachments. And then we're going to reach for a roller or a block. I'm going to come into a supported bridge. So grab your prop of choice. I'm going to be using a block. And bring your feet in close to your buttocks. And then on an inhale, you get your prop underneath your tushy. And inhale and lift up and come up onto that prop. You can be on your block at your lowest height. If you want a little bit more elevation, you can lift up and put your block at the middle height. Or you could use 2 blocks for more security. And then just notice what's going on in your pelvis and your sacrum. You can start to lengthen out one leg and see how that feels. You can feel the stress in the front of your hips here. I kind of like that feeling. And then you can take the other leg out. If it's too much, you can leave one leg bent and do them alternately. So come into this supported bridge pose. You can leave your arms by your sides, or again, you can bring your arms up and overhead and get a great stretch in the front body, which doesn't get a lot of stretching. So this is kind of a good pose to get some of that energy flowing through the front body. So find your Goldilocks position where you feel comfortable. Don't overdo. We're just going to stay here for a little bit, giving some good stress to the front of the body. Let's take it over. You can always adjust the position if it's not working for you. I'm feeling some power surges here. I hope my power doesn't go out, so let's see. Yeah, it's flickering. Uh-oh. May lose you. So let's just take a deep breath in here and bring those feet in. And then we're going to tilt up and remove that block, slowly come down. Woo. And then draw your knees into your chest, strap or no strap. Just draw them in, give them a nice squeeze. Gently rock from side to side. And before we come up to seated, just gently bring your feet up towards the ceiling. Do a little legs up the wall here. Hold on to your thighs just to steady them and get that energy moving back up into the core. Nice full breath. One more deep inhale. Full exhale. Bring your feet back down to the mat. And we're going to roll over and come back up to seated. Slowly, slowly. There's no rush. We're going to come into deer pose. So you have your props handy, but not in your way. So you're going to bring the feet out in front. We're just going to do some more windshield wipers here. And then the next time the knees are to the right, let the knees drop down and take your left hand on your left shin and draw the left foot back. This is a nice place to use the strap too, so you don't have to work too hard at this pose. And I'm tilting a little bit over to the right because there's tightness here. So I'm going to prop up my knee and put my other block beside me so that I can sit up a little bit straighter. So take your leg back as far as is comfortable and then bring the other leg in. Find your comfortable spot. This is a challenging position if you haven't done it before.
I feel like I want to break in half here.
Well, you know, if you can't get your leg to do that, you know, it's yin. You don't have to. You can bring your leg over like just to the side.
I can't get my right leg in as much as yours is.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not, you just leave it out then. It's, you know.
That's in.
When I first did this pose, I couldn't do it at all. So I had like 57 props under my left leg.
I have my right foot against my left thigh. Is that right?
That's good. That's good.
That's where, like that. I got it like that.
Okay, that's good. That's kind of like a half butterfly. So if you only want to get into like, you want to just sit like this in a half butterfly, that's fine too. Because if your body's not ready for the other pose, why even try? You know, it's not worth it. Because the effect we're going to get is the same. I happen to love to stretch the front of my thighs. I just feel like it feels good for me, but I've been practicing for a while. So whatever your position you got into where you can have that right leg bent and your left leg either out straight or behind you is perfect. And then we're going to bring your prop in front of you again. And we're going to fold forward, not for as long as before. We're just going to get a little bit more stress into that hip joint here. So come into your forward fold again, nothing too strenuous, just forward fold. And we're just going to take some breaths here. We're trying to get into all the nooks and crannies of the attachments to the hip, because I think it helps with walking, it helps with preventing hip joint problems and knee problems. Just want to keep your hips a little bit juicy. Not let the rust build up in them. There's plenty of rust building up in my brain. That's can't seem to keep that as juicy as I'd like. Three more deep breaths here. And then slowly and carefully come back up. And this is, listen carefully now to what we're going to do. So the right leg is in front and it's bent. You're going to take that right leg and straighten it out. Then you're going to take your left leg and you're going to fold it over the right leg and get both hips down on the ground. Sit up tall. Take your right hand on the outside of your left knee and take your left hand behind you, and we're going to twist to the left. Sitting up straight, pushing out through that right heel. Don't turn your neck too far, just be very gentle, drop the shoulders. Soften the legs, soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. Bring that right hand back, place it on the left knee. Take your right hand, take your right hand behind you, and you're going to open the twist here. Twist to the right. Keep sitting up tall, breathing, softening. Spine is straight, shoulders relaxed. And slowly unravel from that, lengthen out both legs, give them a nice massage. And we're going to do the deer pose or half butterfly on the other side. So bend your knees and we'll do some windshields. Breathe. And the next time your knees are to the left, drop them down. Take the right leg either out straight, or you can try bringing it behind you again. I find on this side I really want to tip over, so just find whatever works for you.
You put a block under your left knee.
Yeah, you can put a block anywhere you need it, left knee, right knee, wherever you need to feel more support, you can put a block or a blanket. You don't want to have anything hanging out in the air. Because in the yin, we're trying to work the ligaments. We're not working the muscles. So if your leg is hanging out or your arm in the air, then the muscle is having to work and you can't get into the joint. So that's why I always encourage people to soften and not do too much, because the more you can get into the joint and not activate the muscle, the better the program works. So you can prop up anything as long as it feels better when it's propped. So once you're in whatever position you want to be in to get the stress, you can fold forward again over your prop. And I'm tilting so much, I'm really propping up the side I'm tilting on. And we'll just stay here for a bit. Slowly, slowly, slowly come back up and remove your props. Going to slide that right leg forward, straighten out the left leg, and take the right foot over the left leg. Place your left hand on the outside of the right knee, and then gently bring the right arm behind you and come into a king twist. Don't force, just twist as much as the body wants, leaving the left leg out straight, and getting that right knee in as close as it wants to come. Gently bring that right hand from behind you, place it on your right knee, and then take the left hand again and bring it behind you and do an open twist. So twist to the left. Gently release the pose, lengthen out your legs. Flex and point your feet. Rotate your ankles around in either direction. And I'd like you to make your way down onto your belly. So take your time. Just make your way down onto your belly very slowly and carefully. Do a little bit of a strengthening pose before we come into the last part of the class. So this is the hardest part for me, getting from the front to the back. And then cross your forearms in front of you and just drop your forehead down onto your forearms. And just take a couple of breaths where you feel your rib cage expand out to the sides again while you're on your belly. And then you're going to take your arms and put your forehead on the mat and bring your arms down on either side of you with your palms up. And then slowly lift up your nose, your chin, and your shoulders off the mat and lift your arms behind you. And you'll feel this in your back. You feel it in your latissimus, those muscles that go down your back. You'll feel the muscles starting to feel some pull. And squeeze your shoulder blades together. You'll come all the way down. You'll feel this to your waist, hopefully. Just squeeze, 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 and reach back with those fingers. Feel that in your triceps. And then slowly drop down on a cheek. And we're going to do that one more time. So bring your forehead back to center. Lift up your forehead, your nose, your chin, and your shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift up, press the fingertips back, away towards the back. Breathe, come up as high as you can. Press the hips into the mat. And then drop down onto the other cheek. So we're going to add the legs, and you can do one leg at a time or both legs. We're going to lift up the upper body, and then we're going to lift up the legs. So here we go. Forehead on the mat, lift up the nose, lift up the chin, lift up the chest, lift up the arms, and then lift up the legs. And then when you're ready, you can slowly come down on one of your cheeks. Slide your arms up beside you, and then slowly make your way over onto your back. And we're going to be doing a little bit of yoga nidra today for Shavasana. So take some time getting into your comfortable position in Shavasana, allowing your back body to settle down on the mat. Take a few breaths here, just feel that release, let it go. You've worked a lot of different parts of your body today. Sometimes it's good to put a roller or a blanket under your knees for this part of the class for the smooth flow of energy through your whole body. And start to sink in, surrender. Starting at the crown of your head, relax your scalp. Smooth out your forehead. Relax your eyebrows, the space between your eyebrows, your eyelids, your eyes, your cheeks, your lips, relax your jaw, your neck, the back of your head, whole head relaxed. Now bring your awareness to your right shoulder, your right upper arm, your right elbow, forearm, wrist, back of your hand, palm of your hand, thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. Back up to your wrist, your forearm, your upper arm, your shoulder. Whole right arm relaxed. Now bring your awareness to your left shoulder, left upper arm, left elbow, left forearm, wrist, top of hand, palm of hand, left thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, whole left arm relaxed. Bring your awareness to the space in the center of your chest, your right rib cage, your right hip, right thigh, right knee, right shin, right ankle, top of foot, heel, sole of foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe, ankle, calf, knee, thigh, right hip, whole right side relaxed. Bring your awareness back to your heart center, left rib cage, left hip, left thigh, knee, shin, ankle, top of foot, heel, sole of foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe, ankle, lower leg, knee, thigh, hip, whole left leg relaxed, both legs relaxed, whole left side of body relaxed. Bring your awareness back to your heart center, to your belly, up to your collarbones, up to your shoulders, back up to your face, your third eye, top of the head, back of the head, shoulder blades, spine, sacrum, back of torso relaxed, whole body relaxed, relaxed, let go, let go. Now on an in-breath, take your arms up and overhead, stretching out from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers. Bring your arms back down. Roll over onto your side. Pause here before we transition up to seated. And then slowly use your arms to carefully make your way up to a seated position. Bring your hands to your heart. Thank you for allowing me to share this practice with you today. Be happy, healthy, peaceful, and brave.